Okay. First of all, super proud of our team. This is a tough place to come and win. They obviously had won 23 in a row here, and this is obviously a quality opponent. And so for our players to come in and play with the poise and composure that they played with, but yet also the physicality and the toughness we had to play with today, I thought they just did a really nice job. And as much as, that first drive, gosh, we kind of stubbed our toe with some self-inflicted wounds, I really thought the offense regrouped and settled in and found a nice rhythm there, especially in the second quarter. And defensively, just continued to win on first down, which enabled us to play second and long, third and long football in our favor. There's not many games I've been a part of when if you win the turnover battle 3-0, it's generally a pretty good result for your team. And so the ability to take care of the ball offensively and create some turnovers defensively, I thought was also huge in the game. I thought also offensively the fact that we stayed ahead of the chains. We just didn't have many negative plays, tackles for losses. We kind of stayed in front of the chains, and then the third down conversions were huge. I think we were 8 of 10 in the first half, 10 of 16 overall for the game. And I think holding them to like 3 for 12 or something like that. So we were getting off the field there as well. So all in all, super proud of our team in a tough building against a tough team that over 111,000 people here today. But I got to give credit to Longhorn Nation. Y'all showed out, man. That was awesome. What an environment. What a moment for our players and our staff to sing the Eyes of Texas there at the end with the amount of orange in the stands was really a special moment for our players. So at the end of the day, like I said earlier in the week, this one game isn't going to define our season, but I think it would serve as a pretty good barometer of the type of team that we could be. And, I think that our versatility showed up today in all three phases. Our ability to run it, be physical, our ability to play the run on defense, but yet minimize the explosive plays on defense and be effective on special teams. So all in all, it's a good start to the season. We're 2-0, but we got a long way to go.
Go to questions. Danny, go ahead.
Steve, how much growth have you seen from Gunner in your time with him, and just what did he give you all today?
Yeah, Gunner is he's a warrior for us. He's got a lot of times kind of got overshadowed the last couple of years with JT, but was a really viable player for us a year ago and served a big role for us. But then coming into this season, I thought Gunner did a great job of getting himself in tip-top shape. I thought he's moving better than he ever has, and his ability to not just catch balls but now make people miss and create explosive plays. But bigger than that for us is his leadership that Gunner provides. He's a guy who's been in our program for 4 years now. He came in, that was that first recruiting class. And what I love about his story is the development. And again, I go back to this because so much in today's world is instant gratification, and it's about the true freshmen that play and so on and so forth. Gunner's kind of worked his way and earned his time to be the frontline starter for us in year 4, and he does things the right way, and he's a great leader for a lot of the guys in that locker room. So I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him.
Back middle, Kevin.
Steve, Quinn made some nice throws on the run, threw the ball away when he needed to. That's one thing you said about last week on the interception. Trying to get that one away. What was your take on this?
No, I thought he played really efficiently. He got completions. I didn't feel like there was a throw that got forced today. We knew we wanted to take care of the ball. We knew that we just did not want to give these guys a short field, and we wanted to make them drive the length of the field. So his ability to take care of the ball, but yet make throws when they were available. And, we had the one touchdown call back to DeAndre Moore, which was, again, another him out of the pocket type play. But he got it to his checkdowns. He got the ball to our guys in space, which was something we want to do. And then when those throws were there down the field, he was able to make some of those plays as well. So all in all, I thought he was in really good command all day long. And, like I said, took his shots when they were there, but also took care of the ball extremely well.
Go ahead, Kirk.
Steve, do you feel like the team proved anything today?
I don't know. We weren't really trying to come to prove anything. We wanted to play our brand, our style of football, and not I was hoping to learn about ourselves. Would we be overwhelmed by the environment? We had a lot of new faces and a lot of new people, and we weren't. You know, I credit our coaching staff. I credit the leaders on our team. Our guys played a very composed football game. They played tough. They played physical. We looked fast. And, you know, again, it was more about could we handle the environment and then play this style and this brand of football. And I think we were able to do that.
And you wanted to take the ball right off the bat.
That was more of a strategic thing because of the wind. In anticipation of being a tight ball game, you'd always like to have the wind at your back in the fourth quarter. It was affecting our kicks a pretty good amount in pregame warm-ups. It was about an 8-yard difference. And so once it gets over 5, you really have to start to think about what would the fourth quarter look like if you got to kick a field goal to try to win a ball game.
Front middle, Eric.
Steve, in a game like this, environment like this, those 2 third-down stops, I think both were in your end zone, third and shorts. How did they help set the tone and set the environment?
Well, I think that's a mentality, right? There's a level of physicality, and Michigan's a very good running football team. They believe in running the football. They're physical. And so when you're able to get those stops, I think it's more of a mentality thing that, hey, we can stand in here, we can go toe-to-toe, we can play our brand of football, and that's going to be good enough today.
On your left, Dennis.
Sark, you've been asked for 3 years since the SEC came up about the line of scrimmage matching up. What's it like to do what you did today? How does that answer that question against the defending national champion?
Yeah, I mean, we felt like we've recruited the line of scrimmage well, and we've recruited it, especially on the offensive side of the ball through the high school ranks. This was an odd year for us just because of the way our depth played out. We had to go to the portal and get 3 players out of the portal. But yet, I felt like, we can play that style of football. But I also think, Dennis, like, we're not a one-dimensional team. Like, we can play in space, right? We can, because I think that's important, especially in the Southeastern Conference. As much as the line of scrimmage is really important, if you don't have the athletes on the perimeter, that's going to be hard too. So you have to have both for it to work, and I thought those 2 things showed up today.
On your far right, Dennis.
Coach, you're talking about young guys coming, rising to the moment. That I guess was your 3rd series. Wisner and Jarek running the ball well. Everybody's blocking well. But you see Wisner lower his shoulder, and for that to be a touchdown drive, how pleased were you with the way that drive played out?
Well, it's important to us because we're at our best offensively when we can run the football, when we can RPO, when we can play action pass, when we can drop back, when we can screen you. Like, we try to do a lot, and we try to make it difficult on our opponents trying to defend all that we can do. And if we can't run it, and if we can't run it with a physical mentality, then a lot of the other stuff gets difficult. And so, hey, I hated losing CJ before the season. I hated losing Christian. But we got a ton of belief in the guys that we have, and in Jaden and in Trey and in Jarek, what they're doing. And they know how to run the football, and they can run physical, and that's the way we practice. And so they just took the practice to the field.
Over here on your far left.
Steve, over here, Jimmy Watkins, Cleveland.com. How much you mentioned you wanted to see you guys not get overwhelmed by the atmosphere. How much does it help to have an experienced quarterback in that situation, particularly, it was a while ago, but Quinn's been in this building before?
Yeah, no, I think it was helpful. I reminded the guys about, we've gone into Tuscaloosa and played and won. We've played in a Big 12 championship game. We've played in the college football playoff. And so none of the moments should feel too big for us anymore. And that's just what I commended them for in the locker room, and that, this is who we are. This is how we know how to play. And there's nothing better than going on the road. And when you have great composure and you can play that way, because that's a way to kind of take over a game when you can start to eliminate a crowd, and then that fuels what we're doing. Sometimes it's almost easier than at home. And so when we can go in with the right mentality and we can embrace the challenge, but also keep our mental intensity, but there's that fine line of not crossing over it, still staying poised and composed. And I thought we were able to do that, but we've been doing that. And I think that's something I wanted to impress upon our players is like, that's just who we are now. And so, again, if this helped reiterate that to them, I think it was good for them.
Your middle, Anwar.
Coach, Coach, I know you have to look at the film with the offensive line, seem to be blocking well, and of course creating those run holes. Just a quick snapshot of what you saw up front.
Yeah, I felt like we played really well up front. I really do. I felt like we were reestablishing the line of scrimmage. We were moving people. We were giving our runners running lanes. The perfectionist in me wishes we would close it out a little better at the end. I got on them, but that's my job as a coach. I got to continue to push these guys to be the best that they can possibly be. And so it's unfortunate, because we had a couple plays down there where we go the wrong way at running back, and we end up taking losses at quarterback on stuff that I think we should be better at. So we got work to do. That's the beauty of it. But I think everything we do offensively starts up front. When those guys can play well in the run game and in pass protection, that makes a lot of the other things go. And for a young runner, there's nothing like running the ball when you're not seeing color right in your face. We're covering people up and we're moving them. Now they can feel comfortable running the football.
To your left, Josh.
Steve, just to follow up that question. Cam has a tough opening series with a few penalties. What do you say to him, or what does anyone say to him coming off the field after a drive like that?
I gave him a big hug, and then DJ Campbell got jealous, so I had to give him a hug, and then Jake, and then Hayden, and then Kelvin. I had to give all the linemen a hug before the second series to calm everybody down. But we were doing a couple things with motions and shifts in there, and we were kind of sitting at the line of scrimmage, and Cam got a little antsy. I argued at pretty good length about I didn't know if that was a hold or not. I got to look at the tape, and I felt like he blocked the guy pretty good. Maybe it was. I don't know. But what a response for him, for a guy in his first year of really starting on the road in that environment. You get 3 penalties in one drive. I've seen a lot of guys, melt. And I thought he stood strong. He got himself recomposed and played a good football game.
Over here on the far left, Chip.
Steve, can you just talk about the confidence that your defense is playing with right now, especially in the back end? It seemed like your safeties were all over the place.
Yeah, I thought defensively there was a level of physicality that we played with today, and a lot of that. A lot of times we think of that starting up at the line of scrimmage, and that's true. But I think our safeties are tackling really well right now, and that comes with confidence and belief. And it's not one guy. I mean, you saw Taft today tackle. You saw Makuba. You saw Jelani. You saw Derek Williams. Those guys are tackling well. They're communicating well. And then what I like about our back end is it's really versatile. A lot of guys can do different things, and it starts with Jade just because of his versatility. But all those safeties can cover. I mean, we actually played Jelani some at nickel today as well. So we did some different things because of the versatility that those guys provide in the back end.
Stand left, Joe.
I think there was right after that Wingo run, there was a little kind of skirmish, but there was a time a few years ago when none of your guys would defend Quinn or your quarterback like that. So how much progress have you seen when you have a guy, even though it cost you 15, to stand there and defend your quarterback when that wasn't in your program previously?
Yeah, I can't speak to previously. I don't know. I just, hey, we got a tight knit group, and these guys are in the fight together, and I say that figuratively, that obviously we go into every game and we understand that we got to play as one, and nobody likes to see their quarterback, getting pushed around, shoved around, and those guys got a lot of pride. We got, four returning starters with a lot of starts under their belts up front that've been in some real battles with Quinn on the field, so I just don't think that they're ever going to stand there and let him kind of be a lone wolf. They're going to stick together.
Back middle.
Coach, Quinn has now won at Alabama and Michigan. Few, if any, players have ever done that.
I'd love for you guys to research that for me. Has anyone ever done that before in their career?
What can you say about his composure?
It's Google. All you guys got to hit Google real quick. You'll give me an answer in 30 seconds.
His composure in those environments. What can you say about?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Yes. No, I think there's something about Quinn and his demeanor. He's a very calm guy, and he's really collected. He never rides the emotional roller coaster. You'll see glimpses of him celebrating a touchdown, but he's never over the top exuberant. And when things aren't going great, you never see his dauber just go down. He stays pretty even keel. And I think that demeanor helps him in these environments because he just doesn't get affected by crowd noise or emotions of a game. He stays really clear-minded and focused on what he needs to do. And I think there's some learning lessons in there too. You got to remember he didn't have a great game his first year with us at Oklahoma State. And so we had to grow through some of that with him. But man, it's paying off. We can go into some of these tough environments knowing our quarterback's going to be really under control.
Got time for 2 last ones. Middle, Cedric.
You mentioned Quinn's just calm demeanor. There's a trickle-down effect. I mean, even though you guys didn't score that first drive, you could just see people over on your side knew that it was going to be okay because he was that reverberate through the locker room when you're most physical player.
Yeah, I'm you guys have heard me say this before, but the quarterback is the most important position in sports because, yes, I think it's physically the most challenging, right? What is asked of a quarterback to do every play. But I also think it's the most important position in sports because a quarterback instills confidence and belief into a team, into an organization. And it doesn't matter if it's at the NFL level, college level, or Little League football. You always feel great when you've got a really good quarterback that when he trots out of the tunnel, a lot of people in the organization will say to themselves, we got a chance today because number 3 is playing. And he's playing good. Now we know we got a real chance. And so, but that's at any level. And you guys have covered the sport long enough to know it's like when you've got a quarterback that everybody can believe in, that just fuels confidence and belief that, hey, let's go do our part because the guy that's holding the ball every play is going to be he's on point tonight.
Last one up front.
How much time did you give yourself to enjoy that post-game celebration, and did you look around and see the burnt orange kind of all over the place?
Yeah, no, I took it in. I love that kind of stuff. This was a year ago was a really special moment in Tuscaloosa, and to turn around and do it again this year in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Snapping a 23 home game winning streak and then looking up and seeing the amount of burnt orange in the stands was special. Like I was saying, it was super special. So to sing the eyes, to go make sure that we gave a lot of the thanks and gratitude to our fans. They showed up today. It was awesome. Longhorn Nation was big time. So we got to keep going.